I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're taking a deep dive into the magical world of The Chosen One, the God Stone Trilogy by Joaquin Lopez. This thrilling conclusion to the series sees Jack and Linda facing their greatest challenges yet, from a vengeful master sorcerer to a nation bent on revenge, all the while unlocking the mysteries of the God Stone Sword. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful series of books. Joaquin, great to see you. Great to have you back on our show. You're one of our favorite guests.
Thank you, Logan. I'm happy to be here.
How did it feel to conclude this series? You're living in this wonderful, magical world of Jack and Linda for a long time. I don't know how long it took you to write the whole trilogy. And then, you write that last sentence and you're kind of stepping back from that world. How did it feel to wrap this up?
Well, it was very exciting to wrap it up, because you're right. It took years to write the entire trilogy, and there was always a like a burden on me to finish the story. And so when I finally did complete the story, I felt relief. It was like somebody lifted a big load off my shoulders.
A big responsibility. Now, before we get into the book itself, let's talk about a little breaking news we have, and that is you've been contacted by a company that is interested in perhaps turning this trilogy into a film or a series of films. Tell me about that.
Yes, that is correct. We have been contacted by Global Universal. They are interested in turning this into three movies. And so we are in the process of talking to them about that possibility.
Wonderful. That's exciting news. And it would be such a thrill, I'm sure, to see Jack and Linda and this great world you've created up on the big screen.
It would be exciting for me. That would be a dream come true, if you would. When I started writing this, I had no idea it would get to this, but you always have that hope and dream in the back of your mind, and this is potentially could be possible now.
That's wonderful. Well, very, very exciting. I'm glad you were able to break that news with us here on Spotlight. Now you've got three books. You've got Exiled, you've got Redemption, and now you've got The Chosen One. Let's give the folks at home who perhaps haven't tuned in before the big picture about Jack and Linda and their world and the quest and the God Stone.
Okay. Well, Jack and Linda are best friends as children. They get separated by a war. Unfortunately for them, they lose the war, and this leads to the murder of Linda's parents and all the council. Linda's parents are the king and queen of the kingdom, and Jack and Linda get separated as a result of that. But Jack promises to her that he won't rest until she is the queen of the kingdom again. And the first book then takes you through everything that they go through separately, not knowing if the other one is alive or not, but to fulfill that commitment that they have to each other. Linda never loses faith in him and Jack being able to keep his promise, and Jack never loses his focus on trying to be able to fulfill his promise to her. And so he uses his faith in the gods and prays to them to be able to do that. In the second book, he actually fulfills that promise. He is able to become a great warrior, and the entire time that this is happening, the gods are keeping an eye on him, and they decide to choose him as their chosen one that had been promised thousands of years before. And so that's what the third book is about then, is how he becomes the chosen one and how he learns to use that power. In the meantime, he's got some enemies that he's made along the way. One is a nation that is bent on revenge. Another is a woman who is also bent on revenge because he left her. And then the other is the son of the usurpers, if you would, that had killed Linda's parents. Mm-hmm. So, and he is a master sorcerer, and so he's got to deal with all these issues at the same time, learn how to use the power of the God Stone sword. So, it all comes to culmination in one final battle. So.
Wonderful. Very exciting. I almost could see this as a video game as well, where you play as Jack. It's a first person point of view game, and you go through all these levels and challenges and worlds. So there's lots of applications where this could be explored and developed even more. Tell us a little bit about how you develop the lore and the powers of the God Stone sword.
Okay. Well, I wanted to create a source of power that didn't necessarily depend on an individual. So I came up with the idea of using a sword that was imbued with this power by that from the gods, and that the sword had the ability to determine if the wielder was a legitimate believer in the gods or not. And so that's how I came up with that idea, so that it didn't depend on the wielder being a magician or a sorcerer or anything like that. It would depended on their heart. So that's why I did that. I myself am a Christian, and so I wanted to put some sort of faith based
element in there.
Element in the story, yes.
No, you write that he's called the Chosen One. The Chosen One is generally viewed as a god or the son of God.
Right.
That was not by accident. Tell us about why you decided to call it the Chosen One.
Well, because as he realizes that he has been chosen by the gods to be the long ago promised one, he is trained by a couple of female gods on how to use the power of the sword, and these ladies fall in love with him, and so they actually give him that option to become a god himself, and he has to make a choice between fulfilling his promise to Linda and or becoming a god, which is quite a challenge for anybody.
Quite a balancing act, right? Yeah.
Yes.
That's wonderful. That's what makes a story so epic. If you could give one piece of advice to Jack at the beginning of the trilogy or at the beginning of the Chosen One, what would it be?
Never give up.
Yeah.
He faces some tough challenges along the way, having to grow up alone, away from his family and all his friends, and so my advice to him would be just hang in there and keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep moving forward.
Absolutely. And that's a theme throughout the book, that he has to keep on moving forward, that his epic journey must continue. What challenges did you face in concluding this book to make the ending satisfying as a resolution for your readers?
Well, I took into consideration everything that had happened prior to this, and how could I bring this to a culmination, and so I wanted it to take advantage of his powers as the chosen one, and also his abilities as a warrior, and so as he's facing this final battle, he uses both those elements in his final battle. He uses the power of the Godstone sword on one end, and then on the other end, he uses his abilities as a warrior to win the battle. So I figured, to me, that would make me satisfied with the ending. So I figured, I was hoping that would satisfy my readers also.
Absolutely. I think it will, without a doubt. Now that you've done with the trilogy, are you working on any other new works?
I don't have anything currently in the works. I do have some thoughts in mind about another story about Jack and Linda, uh, but I have not actually started to put it down on paper yet.
Okay, I'm sure they will come. So there might be a fourth installment about Jack and Linda. This trilogy might grow.
Yes, it could.
Okay, could be a trilogy plus one or two.
Yes.
Excellent. I'm sure your fans, your readers, and the literary world would love to see it. Joaquin Lopez has written a wonderful trilogy. It is called the God Stone Trilogy. It is made up of 3 books: Exiled, Redemption, and the final installment so far, The Chosen One. It is an epic journey of Jack and Linda as they encounter an entire world of challenges in a very unique world that has been created by this very, very creative author. Joaquin, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Thank you, Logan. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, my friend. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.